Hello everyone. Welcome to Learn English with
Excuse
Dr.
me,
Deepu.
ma'am. My
So
network slow, ma'am.
as you can see, we are live and I am very delighted to see many students today in this class. And if you already received the message, your Zoom link on your phone, please join this class at this time. And if you are new to this channel, at this time, I expect from you to send me the text on my WhatsApp number, and my WhatsApp number is everywhere on my YouTube channel. So it's an international number. Most of you know that I am from the USA, and you are welcome to join my live class every Saturday 8:30, where the students are joining me. As you can see on the top screen, there are students, and I'm very delighted that I have many students today in my class, and I hope to see many more students are going to join, because I sent that Zoom link pretty much around 100 students. So let's see how many of you are going to show up, because sometimes some students get some kind of a network problem, or maybe they don't know how to join the session and they are just getting familiar with this technology. It is okay, because we all are learners and we all learn all the time new things. So don't get disappointed if you are not able to join my class this time, but keep trying, and hopefully maybe next week you will be able to join the class. So um, let's see. So everyone is here and we are going to start a class. Today we will be reading a one narrative, and then you are going to share a one incident from your life. But that will be later on. But at this time we are going to read, and you all will be taking turns to read maybe a very small portion from the reading, because I expect every student can get a chance, or English language learner to get a chance to speak. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to share my screen with you, and then we will start reading. And then if you will have any question, you can ask me at the end of this class, but no any personal questions or any other question off the topic. Okay, so when I say off the topic, that means not related to our today's discussion. So everyone just stick with the topic and talk about the topic, learn a lot of vocabulary, sentence structure, and remove your hesitation. That is the most important thing for most of you, right? So let's start the lesson, and I am going to share my PowerPoint with you. And this is about, and by the time we will be reading this story, I want you to think about one thing that happened to you, and you never forget that incident in your life. But before that, before I ask you this question, you are going to read a one narrative. Narrative means something happened to someone in reality, right? Narrative. And we share. We all, everyone's life, every day is not the same day. Every day something happen in our life, right? Some days are very normal days and we forget, but sometimes something happen in our life which we never forget. We kind of like remember throughout our life, right? So, and it happened in everyone's life. Believe me, it happened in my life too. There are so many days where some big incidents occurred, maybe good or bad or worst, which I always will remember, right? So let's share this. But before that, I want to show you some of the pictures about which you might gonna ask me the question from the narrative. So here, this is a pastor. Pastor जो है वो, it's a multiple meaning word, but in this story, pasture means it's a green area, grassy area where you see the animals, like they gaze. Gaze means वो grass खाते हैं. They are gazing here. If you see in this picture, the cows are gazing in this field, right? And this area is called pasture. Pasture. Okay. Now the next picture is woods, right? Woods हैं, आप इसको forest भी कह देते हो, but forest is very different because forest is like all the jungle, right? You don't see houses over there, but woods is like you area where you can see some trees and the wilderness, kind of like, okay. Even आपने कभी मेरी वीडियोस देखी हो तो मेरे घर की बैक पे भी वुड्स ही हैं, बिल्कुल इस तरह की वुड्स हैं मेरे बैक साइड पे, जो बिल्कुल और कोई घर नहीं है, वुड्स ही हैं. तो इट्स वेरी कॉमन इन अमेरिका because if you are living in like outer skirt areas, not in metro cities, then you see this kind of life. It's very common here. Okay, so backwards means घर के बैक की woods. अब मेरे घर के बैक पे जो है तो मैं उनको कहती हूँ backwards, right? क्योंकि वो मेरे घर की बैक पे हैं, right? Backwards. So that's another word you might gonna see in this story. So wilderness, wild. I hope most of you know wild means जहाँ पे जंगली जानवर वगैरह, right? Wild animals and wilderness. So that is another word, wilderness or woods. And this is also another example of wilderness where you can see, some kind of a wild animals. Wild animals, I hope you know wild animals, domestic animals, right? The difference. अगर नहीं पता तो आप पूछ सकते हैं. डोमेस्टिक हैं जो घर में आपने रखे होते हैं, यहाँ जैसे काउस हैं, बफलोस हैं, गोट्स हैं, डक्स हैं, पिग्स हैं, राइट? यस, ओके. सो देन दिस वन इज अ स्क्रीन डोर. यू कैन सी दिस, अ स्क्रीन डोर. ये घर का स्क्रीन है जिसको नेट भी कह देते हो आप, जाली भी कहते हो हिंदी में. ओके, सो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट रीडिंग. सो दिस इज माय फर्स्ट वन. Let's start from, and everyone will be taking a one chance to read. Okay, so let's see the first person. I cannot see your names here because I have to go back, but if you can just start reading, take a chance one time. Okay, the first person, let's start. Anyone can start. Tell me who.
I am Bridget.
Can I?
Okay, one person please. Okay, go ahead, one person.
Incident that you will never forget. Many years ago, I had a day.
Okay. So this is the question, right? What is one bad incident that you never forget? So let's read this one, please. Okay.
Ma'am, can I, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Many years ago, I had a day that I would never forget. Those days were one of the most frustrating days in my working years. I was in my late 20s and had a job with the US Postal Service. I used to work in a very small, historic old town in Texas. That town had two rural routes that looped and swooped around the countryside.
Right. Okay, so whenever you talk about something happened already in the past, right? And I hope most of you know that you use the past tense, right? In a simple way, we can say that. So make sure whenever you discuss something, you are talking about something happened in the past, and you will be using the past tense, not the present tense, right? Okay, so anyone want to tell me anything you remember from this? This is about a narrative about a person who is telling something happened when? In the
Past.
In the past, right? Okay. So I'm going to share next one. Chetan, mute, please. Shubham, please mute. Okay, Bridget, please. Okay, so let's see. Shubham, you will be reading the next one. Now I
also want to read.
Okay, I'm going to give a chance to pretty much everyone to read it, okay? So Yes, the first paragraph, please.
Okay, ma'am. I was the substitute carrier for both of those routes, where I often worked 3 to 4 days. I got 3 or 4 days in a week. Both of the routes went way back into the backwoods of wilderness. There were many times when I
Okay.
never ever.
Okay, so yes, so I was the substitute carrier. What does substitute means? Anyone? What is substitute? Right. If someone is absent, the permanent worker is absent, then the substitute means another person who here, I don't know about India, it's a very common here in some of the jobs where they have substitutes. So if the regular permanent person is not on that position, then the temporary people, they come and fill that position. Okay. Even in teaching also, we have substitute teachers. So those teachers are not permanent teachers. They just come if for example, I am taking day off and I am not able to go to school or wherever I work, then I call at work and then they call the substitute person to cover my classes, right? So that is a substitute. So carrier means mailman, a person who carries the things, right? They deliver the mail or the packages. Carrier for both of those routes. अब routes में जो के I hope you all know कि जो postal service वाले हैं, they have a designated areas where they work. Like you are working in this city or down this street, you're gonna deliver the mail. Yeah, same thing like that. So next person. So way back into the backwoods or wilderness. So this person who is telling us a story about her life, that she is sharing an incident from her life, is telling us that that route was where? It was countryside. It was like a rural area away from the city, right? Backwards or wilderness. जंगली सा इलाका जैसे कह लो, वहां पे इतने घर नहीं थे. People were living on a far places from each other. Okay, the next person, please. Next. Okay, go ahead, please.
And there were many times when I never even saw a cow in a pasture, much less another human. I knew both routes very well, and they were both about 130 miles each.
Right. So there were many times when I never even saw a cow in pasture. That means that place was what? Very crowded or very isolated?
Very isolated.
Right, because there were no people, not even cows, and it was like very lonely area because it's a wilderness. Think about it. And it's very common here. There are places where you don't even see even a single thing for hundreds of miles, right? And it's very common in America. So that's what she's saying. I knew both routes very well, and they were both about 130 miles each. So distance-wise, it was a long distance. Now, next person, please, the first paragraph, please. Who is the next person to read?
Can I, ma'am?
Okay, go ahead, please.
I had been carrying the mail for a couple of years when I had a car trouble. My then husband lost his mind and bought me a horrible
Ancient.
Ancient, well-used mail truck. I wasn't very pleasant. It would quit on me frequently, then start again after a while. It didn't have air conditioning in the car, and I dripped sweat. It leaked transmission fluid. The brakes needed constant repair.
Okay, so we're going to talk about, there are many vocabulary words in this paragraph. I had been carrying the mail for a couple of years. So when you say couple of years, that means few, maybe 3, 4, something like that. Okay.
Yes.
3, 4, 5, like that. A couple of years. When I had car trouble, my then husband, what does that mean? My then husband. That husband is not now, right? He is not my husband now. My then husband means उस time पे जो मेरा husband था, then husband lost his mind, right, and bought me a horrible, ancient, well-used mail truck. Mail truck होता है जो mailman के पास. Yes.
Then husband refers to what, ma'am?
Then
At the
husband
time?
yes, उस time पे जो मेरा husband था.
Means
Ma'am,
at the-
I don't know Hindi, ma'am. At the time, he
Yeah,
is not in the place.
right. Then husband means that the whosoever is telling the story, then husband means that husband is not anymore my husband, right? So
Okay,
she's,
okay.
in other words, she is divorced, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Divorced from that person. Yes. Then ex,
Okay.
okay, in other words, ex-husband. And if
Okay,
you
ma'am.
watched my videos, you know the relations. Ex-husband is,
Okay,
you are already legally divorced from that person.
okay,
So my
ma'am.
then husband lost his mind. That means he didn't even think about it, what he's buying, right? And he bought a horribles mean what? Kharab si, ancient, purani si, well used means बहुत ज़्यादा used किया हुआ mail truck मेरे लिए उसने खरीद दिया. He bought it for me, right? It wasn't very pleasant. So of course, think about it. If someone is buying an ancient car, do you think the drive will be pleasant? No way, right? You can make the connection. You see all that kind of cars, or maybe one of you have that kind of a vehicle, car or motorcycle or scooter or bike, I don't know, anything like that. So it would quit. It would quit on me frequently. Quit on me means खराब हो जाता था, बंद हो जाता था कहीं पे भी. Quit on me. Quit means छोड़ देना और बंद हो जाना, साथ मत देना किसी चीज का, right? So there are so many ways to say it. Quit on me frequently. Frequently means क्या है?
बार-बार.
Every other day, या कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ, every day had a problem. Then start again after a while. So in other words, कि अपने आप बंद हो जाना, अपने आप चल पड़ना. I didn't figure out the problems. It didn't have air conditioning. You all know what is air conditioning is in the car. And I dripped sweat. So if it's a summertime, you are in the car, there is no air conditioning, then what do you think you will be? You will be dripping with what? The sweating. You will be sweating, right? Sweating is, in Hindi, it's a pasina. So I don't know in any other language, but when it's hot outside and you sweat, like your skin, it's all covered with what? The sweat. It's a water, right? Sweat, but with a lot of what? Yes. So body के जितने भी हमारे toxics, like full of toxics. Okay. It leaked transmission fluid. So leakage usme. The brakes needed constant repair. Now constant is what? You always hear this word from me. Constant means pretty much every day, right? Regularly, right? Okay, my next reader, please read the next one. Is there any question from this?
Translation please.
Ma'am, I wanna say
Translation
something.
What, Sharmin?
Good evening, ma'am. So I want to sorry you because the 6 minutes ago I haven't joined it because I am reading.
That's okay. I didn't, it's an online class. It's not like your actual class in school where you are late and I'm going to mark you absent. That's not a problem. Okay. So it's okay, Sharmin. You are fine. Okay.
I want to tell that too. That can you get me the previous the first one. The first one.
Sharmin, listen to me. You have to replay this video because after we finish this lesson, you can replay the lesson and you can watch it because we have to move on. We need to talk. Even all the students need to speak also. Okay. So please. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
belongs to which country?
Bangladesh, I think. Okay.
Yes.
Right, Sharmin? You're from Bangladesh. Yeah? I don't know. I think so. Yes. Okay, my next reader, please. Read the next paragraph.
Ma'am, can I read, please?
Yes, if you didn't get a chance, then please go on. Yes, one person.
Can I, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Then it developed some electrical problem where when I hit a bump, my headlights would go out. It was a nightmare trying to reply on that thing. Every morning I drove to work in the dark, which freaked me out.
Right. So then it developed some electrical problem. I mean, that mail truck was full of problems, right? Had all kind of problems. Machinery was not good. Air conditioning was not working. The car engine's electrical problems were there. The lights were not working. So when I hit a bump is, and you see bumps a lot in India, roads pe jo bump hote hain, right? So my headlights would go out, sorry. So headlights kya hoti thi? Band ho jati thi, out. It was a nightmare. Who knows what is nightmare means?
Dream.
Nightmare means scary dream. Scary, not dream only. Scary dream. When you see some kind of like a devils or ghosts or a wild animals, lion or snake or something, and you get scared, right? Nightmare. Yes. Trying to rely.
Nightmare. The
What?
scary nightmare dreams. Why call like a nightmare dreams instead of calling scary dreams?
Because they're in English and even in, I don't know about your language, but there are so many different ways to express the same meaning in many different words. That's why. Okay. Okay, so it was a nightmare trying to rely on that thing. Means it was really a very, very bad thing or something which I was not trusting this truck because it was always giving me trouble constantly, right? So rely on that thing. Every morning I drove to work in the dark, which freaked me out. Freaked me why? She was scared because she was not able to see the things in the dark because the lights were not working, right? Okay, so the next one, we need to finish this because I want you to share your experiences with me. The next one, please. Anyone? And Sharmin, you need to mute.
Can I, ma'am?
Sharmin, mute yourself, please. Yes, go ahead. Next. Yes, please.
Yes. And then that day at work, I felt sick. I always wondered what was going to break down next. But I ignored it. I shook it off and began to feel better. The mail was particularly heavy that day, and I had a truckload of packages to deliver. It was going to be a long, hot day.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's it. So she is telling us, and then that day. So what is that means? What she's telling about? Which day? When that incident occurred, right? जिस दिन वो उसका nightmare दिन था, जिस दिन very bad something happened to her, right? I felt sick. I always wondered what was going to break down next. So because that truck was not trustworthy, right? I was not trusting on that vehicle at all because I always had problems with that truck. But I ignored it when I was sick, right? So I shook it off means thoda sa mujhe sickness feel hui, but I didn't bother about it and began to feel better. So gradually I felt like I'm fine. So the mail was particularly heavy that day. Again, that day means she is talking about that particular day, right? And I had a truckload of packages to deliver. Truckload means what? The truck was full of what? Packages, right? Load. It was going to be a long, hot day because it was. So, what do you think? What season it was of the? What season of the year?
Summer.
Summer, right? Yes, summer. Okay. My next reader, if you are here and you didn't take a check.
Excuse me, ma'am. What mean by shook it?
Shook means forget about it. Shook जैसे इग्नोर कर देना किसी चीज को. Shook ये है ना जैसे it's okay. It's gonna be fine. I can show you with my expression. Yes.
Can I read?
Okay. Read please quickly.
I loaded my mail into the truck and set off my route. My truck rumbled along, chugging at times like it wanted to die on me. But somehow we slipped out on down the road. I was way out in the country, and I had a package to deliver to some folks. I drove up and honked and got to no response. The front part was covered with a screen, so I got out of my truck and carried the package inside.
Okay. Just wait, guys. Okay. If you are here and you are texting me on chat on my live stream and you are asking me, ma'am, how can I join the Zoom class? Again, I am telling you, you need to look at my numbers. I have my phone number everywhere on my YouTube channel. You need to text me. Send me the text on WhatsApp on my number, and then you will be receiving the Zoom link next Saturday's class. Okay, Shweta? So going back to the screen. So I loaded my mail into the truck and mute yourself, Charmin. Mute. Everyone mute, please. Mute, please. Make sure you are muted. Thank you. Okay, I loaded my mail into the truck and set off on my route. My truck rumbled along, chugging at times like it wanted to die. Now think about it, guys. Who is talking? Please mute. Mute.
Hello, ma'am.
Mute. Please. Okay. I loaded my. Who is talking, guys? Please try to understand. Otherwise, I'm going to remove you from this class if I will hear your noises. I'm not rude, but we are running this class and I expect this class to run very smoothly and quietly. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again with you. Sorry about that. So I loaded my mail into the truck and set off on my route. My truck rumbled along, chugging at times, means वो खड़का कर रहा था ऊपर नीचे और मुझे trouble दे रहा था. Times like it wanted to die on me. But somehow we slipped on down the road. Slipped on means चलते जा रहे थे. I was way out in the country. That means too far in the country. Now, I hope many of you know this means country is a multiple meaning word. One country is like a country like India or America or China or any other country, Pakistan, Bangladesh, a country. But this country means a rural area. Okay, yes. This country is a rural area. In America, we say countryside. We don't say rural or we don't say village. We say countryside. Okay, yes. So it's in American English. So out in the country, and I had a package to deliver to some folks. Now, folks means what? People, which you don't know, they are people, folks. I drove up and honked and got no response. Ab honk kya hota hai? Horn bajana, right? Honk the horn. So drove up and honked and got no response. So I went there, I honked my horn, like my male horn, but I didn't get a response. The front porch was covered with a screen. जैसा मैंने आपको दिखाई थी picture in the beginning, screen. So I got out of my truck and carried the package inside. So when I didn't hear anyone, so I got out of my truck, right? So I hope you understand everything from here. Anyone has any question?
Ma'am, front porch mean?
Front porch मैंने अभी दिखाया था. If you were not here, this is the front porch of the house. So this is a screen. जैसे नेट नहीं लगी होती आपके इंडिया में भी कई बार नेट के एरिया कवर है, right? So this is a porch. This is called porch. Okay. So
and this is also called open door.
It's in America we call it porch. It's a front porch. Some people have a porch on the back, but it's covered like with the screen. This is called, you call it net, but we call it screen. In American English, we call it screen. Okay, this is screen.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so now.
Honk means?
Huh?
Ma'am, honk.
Honk means horn बजाना. इंडिया में तो honking you see here all the time. इसीलिए तो कहती हूँ mute करके रखो. Honk, right? Horn बजते हैं जो, है ना? हाँ हाँ. Okay. So honk and ignore. Now next one, guys. If you didn't get a chance to read, then you will be reading the one paragraph only. Please don't try to read it.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What is root means? I didn't understood Hindi, but I understood Bengali and English. Can you explain me in English?
Which one?
Route means?
Route?
Yeah.
What she's saying? Route, which one?
I say
Second
the
paragraph.
previous page. I saw that route the words
means
is route. So what the routes means in English, because I can't understood Hindi.
Route means the road.
Route.
Yes, route. Route is a road. Did you go on the route? Route means the road. You go on the same route every day. For example, on the same road every day. The route. You say route in a Indian English. You say route, right?
Yes,
we say
ma'am,
route.
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
That's what I want.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So the next one, it was. Okay. Here, this one, please. Let's my next reader. If you didn't get a chance, then you are reading. Go ahead, next one. Who is the next one?
Can I?
Okay, please, first paragraph only, quickly. Oh my God. Okay, here.
Just as I set the package down and turned to leave, a huge dog ran up to the porch and began barking like crazy. Instantly, 4 or 5 more big dogs joined him, and their barking was deafening. I was stuck and like shocked.
That's it. Stop. Okay. So just as I set the package down, like when I put the package down, right? Just as, so action is happening when I just did it and turned to leave, right? जब मैंने रखा package and I got up and turned to leave, a huge dog ran up to the porch and began. Began is a second form of what you call the past form of began, right? Begin means start करना किसी चीज को, start. Began barking like crazy. You know that dogs are everywhere in India, and when you go out and how they start barking like crazy, and they sometimes even bite you too. Instantly means instantly is like this, right away. Instantly, 4 or 5 more big dogs joined him. So more dogs came in, and their barking was deafening. Deafening means मेरे कानों को जैसे what? When there is so much noise and you feel like, oh my goodness, so yeah, you can imagine that when there are so many dogs are barking and how you feel it, right? You feel like deafening means you are not able to hear anything. Deafening, what is happening here? Oh, no. I was stuck like Chuck. Now this is an idiom. In American English, this is an idiom. I was stuck like Chuck means when you are in a predicament. Predicament means you are in a situation where you don't know what I'm going to do now, right? And think about it. If it happens to you, if suddenly you see so many dogs are there, and then what I'm going to do? How I'm going to save my life from these dogs, right? Something like so. I was stuck like Chuck means I was in predicament. I was stuck there in a difficult situation where I didn't know what to do. Okay, so this is an idiom. This is an idiom. If you want to learn this, I was stuck like Chuck. Okay. Okay. The next one is yes, please. Yes. First paragraph. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I got out and looked under the hood but didn't see anything wrong. I tried to start it again, making the same horrible noise. I stood there in the Texas heat, knowing that I was far from civilization and likely there wouldn't be any traffic on that road. There was nothing to do but lock up my truck and take off walking.
Okay, that's it, please. Mute yourself because I'm hearing noises. Okay, so I got out and looked under the hood. You know hood? You know hood? Truck ki, car ki hood, right? When you
Front of
look,
the car.
yeah, the front, yes, exactly. So, and didn't see anything wrong. I tried to start it again, making the same horrible noise. वो same noise जो truck की चलने. I stood there in the Texas heat. Texas is a very hot state in America and it's a desert. It's like Rajasthan. In India, Rajasthan, you know, it's a desert and it's very hot. Summertime, it's like burning hot. Knowing that I was far from civilization, that means there were no houses, no more people, and likely there wouldn't be any traffic on that road. So I didn't see anyone there. People were not there, right? There was nothing to do but lock up my truck and take off walking. So lock up my truck means she left the truck over there and then she had to walk because her truck was not what? Her truck was not moving on. She was just there. Okay, my next, is there any question from this reading? Anyone? Lock up.
What did you say?
Yeah, Texas is a state in America, like we have states in India, like Tamil Nadu or West Bengal or what you say, Uttarakhand or I don't know, I'm just Rajasthan. These are the states, right? So Texas is also one of the state in the United States of America, and it's like Rajasthan. It's like a desert. It's a desert. It's a very big state in America. Okay, so that
civilization.
Civilization are where the people live. Civilization are where the people live, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, so the next person who didn't get a chance to read.
Can I?
Yes, go ahead, please. Sharmin, please wait. Okay, yes, next person, please.
Can I?
Ma'am.
Yes, please. Yeah. Okay.
I walk. Ma'am, can I, ma'am?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I walked for a long way in searing Texas heat under a cloudless sky. I could feel the sun pounding down on my head. And as I looked out across a freshly plowed pasture, heat waves danced and flowed. I don't know how long I walked. My feet were on fire from the heat. I was so thirsty, I could not swallow.
Right. So I walked for a long way in the searing Texas heat, means बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी, जो बिल्कुल दम निकालने वाली गर्मी, right? इतनी ज्यादा गर्मी थी, बहुत hot था. Under a cloudless sky means the sun was what? Shining bright, and there were not even clouds in the sky, right? Cloudless sky.
Yes.
I could feel the sun pounding down on my head, and as I looked out across a freshly plowed pasture, heat wave danced and flowed. I mean, she's just expressing the scene or the area and how she was feeling in that heat. So, as you know, the pastures are जैसे कह लो खेत, in other words, in Hindi में कहूँ तो farming land, right? Where so that was plowed means unme now I don't know what to where they use the tractor and they plow it for the next plantation. अगली खेती के लिए
farmers area.
Right, agricultural type, yes. तो वो वहाँ पे pounding down on the, so they plowed the pastures means उसको उन्होंने वो प्लो होता है उसको वो यूज करते हैं. अब मैं उसको कैसे बताऊं, मुझे हिंदी में भी उसका नहीं पता आपको, किसी को पता है तो। खेती करने के लिए उसको पहले जमीन को बनाते हैं ना, उसमें फिर वो जैसे कॉर्न लगाना है या वीट लगानी है जो उसको,
उर्वरता।
राइट, ओके। सो हीट वेव्स क्या है? हवा जो हीट, इतनी जो धूप है उसकी
गर्म
वेव्स
हवा।
क्या है? यस, थैंक यू। हीट वेव्स danced and flowed, right? So वो चल रही है, she is expressing that way. I don't know how long I walked because I didn't remember, because I was not counting time, right? My feet were on fire from the heat. I was thirsty. I couldn't swallow. Think about it, guys. If you are thirsty, you don't have any, what you say, kind of like a watery mouth, and then you don't have any saliva, right? Saliva in your mouth when you are dry, your throat is dry, then you feel like you are drying up, your throat is drying, you're not able to swallow. So that's what it's very thirsty. Okay, the next one. Who is my next reader? Yes.
Can I?
Ma'am, I
Black
have
and
a
white.
doubt, ma'am.
No, yes, please. Charmin, please wait. Let other people participate. Yes, thank you. Yes, go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Can I?
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead, please. If you didn't get a chance, then read, please.
Can I?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, go. I don't know. Some
Ma'am,
of you are
previous
not.
slide, I have a doubt.
Okay.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can I? हमारा आवाज जाए तो नहीं.
Okay, you know what? I think I should start writing your names because right now I don't know
Ma'am,
who can I. Okay, don't say can I. Say your name.
May I?
No, say your name.
Jayashree ma'am.
Okay, Jayashree. Did you get a chance to read before?
Ma'am, Anand.
No, ma'am.
Okay, then read, please. Okay. First paragraph.
Yes, ma'am. Then I saw a big old grey tractor coming across the field towards gate in the distance. I hurried up to the gate and waited for the old farmer to arrive. I yelled over the engine's noise that I needed to get to phone. It was back then, way before cell phones. He said, "Well, climb on the tractor."
Okay, that's it, please. Okay, so while she was walking, she said, I didn't see any civilization. I didn't even know for how long. I was kept walking, and then I saw a big old gray tractor. Now you see these big old gray tractor. Who can tell me? These are the what? What kind of words are these in your, you know a lot of grammar. What are these words?
काला पुराना ग्रे कलर का.
नहीं, parts of speech में कौन से हैं ये words? Parts of speech में इनको कौन से words कहते हो आप? What words?
Adjective.
Simple.
Yes, adjectives. They describe the noun. So noun is a tractor. Noun is a tractor, and gray, old, big are all what? Adjectives, right?
Adjective.
These are the adjectives. They are describing. Now, why we use adjectives? Because adjectives actually you create the image in your mind. You create the image in your mind when you use the adjectives. Now, without even looking at that tractor, you know how that tractor looked like, right? It was big tractor, old tractor, right? And gray color. You understand? So we use adjectives to create the pictures. You understand? That's very important. Now, coming across the field toward a gate in the distance, I hurried up to the gate. Hurried, अब hurried का क्या मतलब होता है anyone? Walking fast, right? Yes, walking fast, hurried. Yes, hurried up to the gate and waited for the old farmer to arrive. I yelled. Yelled means scream, like speaking very loudly. Up to the gate and waited. I yelled over the engine's noise that I needed to get to a phone. It was back then, way before cell phones. So that was the time when cell phones were not there. right? And you know that cell phones is something new thing, new technology, right? And this incident is very old. He said, well, climb on the tractor. So if you need a phone. Next person who did not get a chance to read, please. Next one. Who is the next person? And say your name, please. Don't say, can I? Say your name.
Anand here.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, Anand.
Go.
Yes, please. Yes.
I I held on for dear life as the tractor down the road. Somehow I got a foothold and dragged myself up onto the fender. By that time, I was almost hysterical. It was not long, and the old farmer turned off the road and drove up a lane toward neat little farmer house.
Okay, so farmhouse. Okay, I held on for dear life as the tractor went down the road. So held on for dear life. What does that mean? Anyone can think about it? I held on for dear life as the tractor went down the road. Think about her condition, how she was feeling. No water, throat is dying, right? She's not even able to swallow because she's very thirsty. She was walking from a long distance. So I held on for dear life. मेरी जिंदगी को मैं अपनी प्यारी सी जिंदगी, my dear life, I was holding on कि मैं किसी तरह I was able to, push in myself strongly so I can survive in this heat without water. I held on for a dear life as the tractor went down the road. Somehow, I got a foothold and dragged myself up onto the fender. अब fender is a place on the wheel on the top जिसको आप कहते हो इसके लिए मैंने I think fender is हम इंडिया में मुझे याद है हम इसको कहते थे mudguard or area around the wheel well on the vehicle. अब tractor के बारे में if you know the tractors on the side of the wheel on the top where people sit, anyone can picturize the tractor? That area is a fender. Yes, mudguard भी कहते हैं उसको, but that is a fender. Okay, so so I was right. Okay, so I got so where is I? I got a foothold and dragged myself up onto the fender. I think by that time I was almost hysterical. Hysterical is मतलब बिल्कुल मेरी इतनी ज़्यादा बुरी हालत हो चुकी थी. It wasn't long and the old farmer turned off the road and drove up a lane toward a neat little farmhouse. So that the farmer's house, right? That's what she's telling us, that she drove with him on his tractor. So in other words, he gave her a lift, right? Yes.
Ma'am,
What's the meaning of?
What?
I have a doubt, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. कौन सा?
A farmer turned off the road means?
Old farmer turned off the road and drove up a lane. Now, if you think about a main road, right? Because she was walking on the road. So she saw that person. So turned off the road means वो road से off होके उस gate के अंदर अपने घर की तरफ lane की तरफ जाना शुरू हो गया. अब think about guys the villages like the the rural areas where you see the main roads and then you see the lanes goes to the village. Maybe it's like a कच्चा रास्ता भी हो सकता है जैसा. Yes, it's not like a main road, right? Yeah. Okay. So the next one. Okay, my next reader who didn't get a chance to read.
Okay. Tushar here.
Okay, yes. Go ahead, Tushar. Tushar, go please.
He pulled up and I jumped off and he called to his wife. This lady needs to use the phone. The wife came in and pointed to a phone on the wall. I made my call and arranged to pick it up. I had to ask the lady if I could have a drink of water and please use her restroom. She was not very glacious about it, but she
Gracious.
gave me a glass of water. Glacious. And gave me a glass of water and pointed down the hall to the bathroom.
That's it. That's it. Thank you, Tushar. Okay, so he pulled up. Pulled up क्या होता है कि उसको रोक लिया उसने and jump off. And he called his wife. This lady needs to use the phone. The wife came in and pointed to a phone on the wall. Just pointed it. So this lady is not very friendly, right? I made my call and arranged to be picked up. So she called wherever she needed to call and made the arrangements so someone can come and pick her up, right? I had to ask the lady if I could have a drink of water and please use her restroom. So you know restroom is a bathroom, right? She wasn't very gracious about it. So that means वो इतनी अच्छे दिल वाली नहीं थी, थोड़ी rude थी woman, right? Not like that kind of rude, but you know some people are very welcoming, right? And some people are like just expressionless. Like she just pointed out the phone is there, and then she brought a water for her, but she didn't even talk to her much. She was kind of like a not very friendly, or she was not a good host, in other words, right? Okay, so but she gave me a glass of water and pointed down the hall to the bathroom. So that lady didn't talk to her actually. She just was like, okay, the bathroom is there, phone is there, gave the water, that's it, right? So you understand? Yes. Not gracious, wasn't very gracious. Okay, my next person who did not get a, yes, go ahead.
Charmin.
Sharmin, I think you got a chance to read before.
Yeah, one
Yes,
time.
once we got.
No more, because I have many students. They need to read one time at least. Okay, please. Yes, next one, please.
Thank you.
Yes, go
Thank
ahead.
you. The wife and walked out to the road to wait for my
Rescue
to arrive. Rescue to arrive. We went back to my truck and I loaded the mail into the new
vehicle.
And off we went to deliver the mail.
Deliver the mail, right? So I thanked the wife and walked out to the road to wait for my rescue to arrive. Now, what does rescue mean? Someone who is coming there because she made a phone call, right, to her post office, and then someone came to help her. So we went back to my truck and I loaded the mail into the new vehicle and off we went to deliver the mail. I hope this is very clear to you. Anyone has any question about this? Anyone has any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. And if you did not read even a one time, this is your time to read, not second chance at this time. Okay? Yes. Zoom. Okay, go ahead.
It was very late when I got home, and my feet were black and I was exhausted. I had to catch the mail, and my husband came to pick me up. When drove out to where my truck was parked on the side of the road.
Right. Okay, please. So what happened? It was very late, of course, because she was working all day. And when I got home and my feet were black and I was exhausted, that means she was very, very tired. I had to case the mail. Case the mail means to put the record, to write down all that, right? The packages she already delivered, who did she deliver, everything, all that information. जिसको कहते हो अपनी रजिस्टर में सारे दिन का ऑफिस का हिसाब किताब, right? In other words. So then I had to case the mail, and my husband came to pick me up. We drove out to where my truck was parked on the side of the road. I think this is very simple and easily understandable, right? Is there any question here? No? Let's read the next one. Who did not get a chance to read?
I'm Shivam.
Okay, go ahead.
My husband opened the hood and began laughing like a madman. Come here and look. Just look and tell me what you see. And I spotted it immediately. A thick wire wrapped around the air intake hose had snapped and was touching a fan blade. I would have only had to move the wire and I could have gone ahead with my day. I was so mad at myself for not seeing it, making the mail late and inconveniencing other people. I had a temper tantrum in the.
Okay, so my husband opened the hood and began laughing like a madman, right? Because he noticed that there was not any problem in the truck. So come here and look. Just look and tell me, what do you see? And I spotted it immediately. That means immediately means right away. A thick wire wrapped around the air intake hose. Now she's talking about the machinery in the truck, right? And had snapped and was touching a fan blade. So I would have only had to move the wire, but I didn't notice. And I could have gone ahead with my day. That means if I would have fixed it and there was not a problem for me that particular day. So I was so mad at myself for not seeing it. So it happens to all of us sometime, right? There is something happened and it's like, oh my God, I didn't even notice. This was the only problem, right? And I was so mad. And so at myself for not seeing it, making the mail late and inconveniencing. This is a big word. The word is convenience, right? And then you have a prefix and a suffix at the end to make it inconveniencing. Everyone say inconveniencing.
Inconveniencing.
Yes, inconvenience means बाकियों को भी परेशान किया, husband को किया, bother किया, post office में call करके उनको बुलाया, right? It was not like a regular day. So other people, I had a temper tantrum. When you talk about tantrum you see in children. When, especially the toddlers, a little bit, the kids, if you take away something from them and then the way they scream and jump and yell, right? They show the tantrum. That's where she said, I was so mad at myself and I had a temper tantrum in the middle of the road. Like, my goodness, this was the problem. Oh my God, all day I was like doing this and that. Like, she was so mad at herself, like why she didn't notice that there was not even a problem. It was just a wire or a clip, right? So that was so the last one, who wants to read? Did not get a chance to read, guys. Okay, go ahead.
Ma'am, Vana.
Okay.
My husband moved the wire out of the way and I drove the truck home. I don't think that I would ever forget it. Was the longest, most frustrated and a horrible day of my working career.
Right. So my husband moved the wire out of the way and I drove the truck home. Guys, now look at this. Everything happened and we are using the past tense, right? कितने जो vocabulary, grammar skills और जो सारे हैं, everything is about past. Nothing is in present, right? Because when you tell about your narrative, you tell people something happened in your life. And that is always in the past. Something happened in the past. Okay. So I don't think that I would ever forget. It was the longest, most frustrated, and horrible day of my working career. मतलब जब जितनी देर I worked, that was the day, the horrible day, which I will never forget, right? So now it's your turn. We've done with that story, and now it's your turn to share one at a time. You had a time, and there are so many incidents. I can share a very small incident about from my life when I was a little, like not a little means when I think I was in college maybe, and I was at home in those days, and one day it was about there was something, and we had to like, okay, the light just went out, and we called the electricity department, and we was like, okay, our light is not on, and they didn't show up for 2 days. And we were without light for 2 days. And then guess what? Then the third day that guy came, and he just went there to the main switch, and he turned on the switch, and he was like, your main switch was off. Then we realized that we had an electrician who came, and he was there to fix up our, Diwali pe jo lights nahi lagate aap.
Yes.
So we had some lights, and there were so many lights, and there were some of the lights were not working, and we called him just to fix and make sure that all the lights are working for Diwali. And he turned off, because when he was doing that, he turned off the main switch so he can check everything, and he forgot to turn it on, and we didn't even realize it. So we were without light for 2 days. So pretty much like that. Okay, now let's start from voluntarily. Who is ready to share one incident from your life? And please, brief incident, the way I shared it, like a quick incident from your life. You would never forget. Anyone? Who is the person?
After reading this passage, total passage, I want to learn one thing, that when I face any problem, and I feel that time that the problem is very big, create a obstacle in my life, then I find it very carefully, and not become fair, not at that time, I should not become a fair, because I should not feel a fair, because problem should not feel fair, and we carefully think this problem. After that, carefully think this problem, the solution we must be find out, and it is the right way.
Okay. But I mean, you never know if that situation was serious or not serious, but that was by chance that the truck was fine. There was a minor problem, and the way I shared my electrical was just a main switch. But it's not always the same case, right? So my question is, if something happened in your life, any incident, any which you will never forget in your life, and that happened to you, something, that's my question. Anyone? Anything you remember?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, Bridget, ma'am.
Yes.
When I was studying 7th standard, in my school had arranged some of the meeting, like procession. In the meeting, there were many crowd, like all our students. At the time, I missed. In my family, they were searching me. At last, they could find me.
Okay. So because there were many students.
Yes.
So Why?
I missed the route on the way to my home.
Oh, okay. So you are.
I
Okay.
didn't know the way to my home.
Oh, because you were just little. You were in 5th grade, right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
might be like 10 years old or 11 years old.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes,
And they
ma'am.
were looking for you, and you are going back home by yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Then I searched one of my school uniform. That girl wear one of uniform. So I asked her to find the way, which is where is the bus stand. I know only the bus stand, and also I went to the house. So I asked to the bus stand.
Oh, wow. Those were the good days. Otherwise, in these days, it's not safe for a girl
Yes,
to be
ma'am.
alone. Like, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Then my family members search here and there. At last, they could find me. They could
Wow.
found
Wow.
me. Yes,
They
ma'am.
found you, right? Finally.
Found.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So
Yes, ma'am.
did they like scold you like for this? Why you left the school without us? Why didn't you wait there for us? Something like that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
Yes. That was scary. That is scary.
Yes.
That because anything could have happened that time. You never know. Yes. Okay. Who is another person want to share something you would never forget and it happened to you in your life?
Hello, may I?
Are you okay? Here is the thing. Maybe it didn't happen to you, but it might have happened to someone in your family or your friend, and you know it. Anyone, just because it's not always happened to us something. Yes. Who is my
Hello,
next?
am I audible?
Yes. Yes, Galaxy. Mute, please. Other Tahira, mute. K. Rahman, mute. Please. Tahira, mute. Only Galaxy needs to be unmuted, so he will be talking. Okay, go ahead, Galaxy. Yes.
A couple of years ago, I went to Mumbai for my holidays, and one day I am hanging out with my friends on a Marine line. So the spot where we hang out there, and we are walking on the footpath, and suddenly I what we say when we put feet on a dog's tail, and we start wake up.
You were walking?
Yeah.
So you slipped somewhere or you what happened?
I mean, what we say when we put something with someone's tail.
आप हिंदी में बोलो क्या? Put something क्या?
Means किसी के वो पूंछ पे पैर रख देते हैं, उसको क्या बोलते हैं?
Put under a
किसी का पैर के ऊपर पैर रख देते हो?
पूंछ पे
tail under a
tail. Oh my God! You touched the tail? Whose tail?
Dog.
Oh my goodness! Why you did that? So you just pulled the dog's tail?
No. I mean, all of a sudden, I just stepped on the tail of dogs.
Oh, you stepped on accidentally.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Accident. You say I accidentally stepped on dog's tail.
I accidentally stepped on dog's tail, and he started growing on me, and I was like, that was my bad day.
Oh, so you okay. Yeah, I can imagine. So anything happened? Or what do you think? If you're gonna step on dog's tail, then he's gonna start licking you? Like, yeah, that's good. No, of course. Okay, yeah, that is scary too. Excellent. Anyone else? So here, when you are telling me again, you don't use I am walking. I was walking, right? I was walking. I was walking with my friends or on the street or on the road, right? Because you are on the road. Yes. So just anyone, who is my next?
Ma'am
Next.
Jayashree.
Yes, Jayashree.
Yes. When I am child, about 10 or 12 years old, I wanted to learn swimming.
Okay.
So my friends told me that come with us, we will teach you to swim.
Okay.
And I went with them. They took me in the middle of the river and they left me.
Oh my God.
I don't know how to swim.
Yes.
That was my worst day. And after that, I never learned to swim.
You got so scared from water, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Actually, you reminded me my incident too. I was in college and I was in a hostel, okay? And we used to have a swimming pool in our college. It was a government college, right? It was a big college. And we had a swimming pool and we friends like decided one day just to go for swimming in the pool, and no one asked, like we didn't know how to swim. And we were there in the pool, but like in that pool was like, from one side was like a 4 feet and then it was going down slope. And we were just on that other side, was swimming. By the time our warden, the hostel warden, somehow someone told them that the girls are there on the pool. And she came there and she was like, in Indian language, Niklo bahar pool. And we were like, okay. And she said, you know how to swim? You know swimming? Or like, no, we don't know. Then why you were pool? You know the swimming? Was like, you know what I said? I said, yes, ma'am. Dubban jogi aandi hai. You know my Punjabi maybe. Dubban jogi mean I know that I can even, die in this pool, or I can be drowned in this pool. I know that much because I didn't know that swimming. So that was the incident, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's, yeah. And the rivers are I will say yes, because my parental, my mom's family, my dad's family, they all are farmers and they're in villages. And we have like, in the canals and the rivers in the villages. And I had those kind of experiences whenever we used to go there in our summer break time. Yeah. Because, when we are children, we don't think about so many things about danger. We take the risks, which we don't take risk when we are adult because we think. But when we are little, we don't think a lot about all these things. Yes or no? Are you agree with this? Right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Who is the next one?
Ma'am, me.
Yes, Tushar.
Ma'am, when I was kid, in my class, there is a student, they are called bad boys. There are two groups in our class, bad boys and good guys. I was in good boy, but they treated me like I am a bad boy, and they said ma'am that he was doing wrong things, and please beat him for doing wrong things. And the man came and slapped me for 2-3 on my cheeks.
Yes.
Thrown in the almirah for 6 hours.
Right. Yes. And
my hands and spider. That was my horrible story.
I completely understand your position. You know why? Because you can mute yourself. There is some disturbance. Yes. because it happens sometimes when especially the bullies, we call it bullies, the bad boys are the bullies, right? So they do that. It's very common. The bullies, they do the things and then they blame to on like the innocents, right? And you are the one who didn't do it but got all that blame, right? Yes. And I understand that because I'm very close to about these kind of incidents because I work in the institution and it's very common where students do something, they are the bullies, but they blame on the other kids those they are innocent. Yes, it's very common. But you know what? It stays on your heart. If you didn't do it and you got blamed for that, you will never forget that incident. I know it. Yes. Okay. Are you brothers? Hemant?
Yes, ma'am. He's sitting in front of me.
Are you twins?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, okay. Huh?
He's my younger brother.
Yeah. Oh, younger brother. Younger. How much is the age difference?
6 years, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I thought twins. You look very similar. Your features. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Hemant, do you have any experience?
Yes, ma'am. When I was 17 years old, I was going to watching some movies in some friends with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any problem with voice?
And I just came back.
Uh-huh.
And I just came back with some graveyards. So I can see that some horrible just some kinds of vines, horrible vines.
Your connection, I think, is not, I don't know why, there is a lot of disturbance.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
Shubham's.
It's Shubham's? Okay. Who is Shubham's? Please mute everyone. Only Hemant needs to be unmuted. Yes, okay. Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
I will start. When I was 17, I was going to do watching some movies, and I just came back with graveyards, and I just feel some horrible vines, and that's the horrible experience, I guess. Yeah, and I just came back with homes with friends. That friend tells that he was thinking that shadows, he was show shadows, and
Okay.
yeah, he just
So the movie was scary?
no, it was action.
Oh, it was action movie. But you all noticed that something supernatural?
Yes,
How that came into your mind?
I heard graveyards. Some
Okay. It was dark outside?
yes, that's
Oh, so you know what? That was illusion. That was something in your mind.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you feel that way. But it's not the reality, it's the illusion. Yeah, because when you think something, oh, it's dark, and then you start making the images in your mind. The images are not out there. The images are in your mind because you are thinking about that. And it's a very strong psychological effect in our human brain. Yeah, no, the things were not outside. It was just in your brain because you are thinking about it. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you all were talking about that while you were walking? Or you were silent?
Ma'am, I was walking.
And you were with your friends, right?
Yes.
So you all felt the same thing without even talking to each other? And you shared it later on? Okay. बाद में बात हुई आपकी? Okay. Okay. So you still remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, who is the next one? Who is the next person? Yes.
Can I share?
Sure, go ahead.
A couple of years ago, once I went out for enjoying the snow falling. When I reached there, I didn't idea about snow falling. When I walked on snowfall, a very big, a huge amount of snowfall there. When I walked there, I slipped. Suddenly, I slipped, and I fell down, and I got injured on my head. That was a horrible incident.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And especially when you are not living in that kind of a situation, you don't even know how to face those kind of problems, because if you are not living in snow area where you get a lot of snow, you don't know how to live in that kind of weather. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. I didn't even no idea that how to walk there.
Walk on the snow, and you need special kind of shoes. You even need how to walk. It's a very special way to walk and drive in the snow. Yes. Yes. That I learned.
Incident.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I know. We drive in the snow all the time. So, because we get a lot of snow where I live, and it's our part of life. So we know, and yes, the first time I had many experiences when I was new. Yes. Okay, who is the next person?
Ma'am, I am Vana.
Yes, go ahead, Vana.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Who is there?
Ma'am, Brigitte, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Ma'am, may I leave the meeting, ma'am?
Sure.
I was in upstress, ma'am. It was very cold. It was very cold, ma'am.
It was very cold.
I am in upstress. I am in upstress, ma'am.
Oh, okay. That's fine. No problem. Hope to see you next time. Bye. You're very welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Always welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next one, please. Svana.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. When I was like sixth grade, studying in the sixth grade or seventh grade, I used to ride cycles on the road, and I was really bored. So I thinking about why can't I ride bicycles on the balcony? And I asked my dad about it, and he said no. He said no. He was really strict. And when he leave his house, when he leave the house, I just take my bicycle into the balcony, and I was riding, and I was crazy watching a lot of videos, and I was trying to do the stunts like that. And like when he was sitting down, I just ride bicycles, and I got broke my arm. And he hear the sound from the downstairs, and he just happened. Or you know how Indian parents react. The first thing they will slap you, beat you about your mistakes. And he nothing happened. And I was like, God, my hand was numb. I couldn't react to anything, and I was scared to tell my dad about it. And went down to the stairs. He said, "What happened? Tell me what happened." I don't know. I just broke my hand, I think. And he take me to the hospital, and I just broke my hand. It was fractured, man.
Wow.
It was happened like, yes, ma'am. I will never forget this experience.
So you paid the price for not listening your dad.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who is the next one? Come on, quickly, guys. Everyone will get a chance to speak. Who is the next person? Come on. Anything you want to share about any small or big, any incident? Bad, good, anything? Let's talk about good also. If something good happened and you would never forget, you didn't get a chance to talk. Tushar Kala.
Yes, ma'am.
Taj. Oh, you already shared it with me, right? Okay,
Yes,
and I had a Tajveed Quran. I have Priyanshu. I have anyone else who didn't get a chance to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone?
I would like to share.
Sure.
Am
Go
I
ahead.
audible?
Yes, Shivam.
Yes, ma'am. First, I would like to share one incident that I will never forget in my life, which has taken place in my life recently. That is an incident of my college. That after long years, after 2 years, we got chance to go to our college, because when I passed out my 12th class, I got admission in college, but I never seen my college. Even I never seen a gate of my college. And recently on 7th Feb, I got chance to go to my college and see the college and taking the experience. And the very interesting thing was that when I was meeting my classmates, I was very shocking, because we didn't know each other by face. We just know each other's name, and we were surprisingly meeting each other. And very shockingly, this guy was that, like, when we were facing when we were seeing the face of each other. This is an incident of I will never forget. That after 2 years of lockdown, we get chance to go to a
Right.
college and
And
meet
see each other.
students
Yeah.
and meet
Yeah.
and meet with those students which we were just watching their names on the our online
Like,
classes, and when we really
right.
meet with them, we feel very glad.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
you are
That's
doing these classes virtually, right? Most of the, yeah, right.
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else didn't get a chance to speak, wants to speak? Anyone? Then we can conclude this class, and then I have, who is here? I have, was there someone who said he wants to talk to me? I don't know. Shivam, Shri Hemant, Sharmana. Okay, so guys, any last words about the ones those they are new here? Anyone? If you like the class, it was good experience, or if it was not good experience, anything? Anyone has anything to share about this class? It's okay. I am very open for criticism also. Yes. Anyone? Yes.
Yeah, I'm Jayashree.
Yes, Jayashree.
Yes, I like your class. I want to speak more.
Yes.
Because I want to improve my speaking.
Yes.
That's why. Yeah.
Everyone here is in the same condition and the same desire, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
And
Yeah.
they all are here to practice, and I am providing you this platform every Saturday. But see here, if you want to become fluent, you maybe it's little like a bitter words, but you cannot become fluent just by practicing once a week. You have to do it every day in any form, right? And when I say in any form, that means you need to read, practice, interact with the language, and learn a lot of vocabulary and use it. Use it. And that is the only way to become fluent. And when I say vocabulary, that doesn't mean you have to learn a language in all forms. Because, see, I know there are many YouTube channels and they listen from each other and they say, oh, it's just a language. You learn your first language like this and that. Yes, that learning a first language and learning a second language is slightly different. Because learning a first language is you just start learning even in your mother's womb. That means even when your mom is pregnant with you, you start listening it, right? जैसे वो कहते हैं ना अभिमन्यु ने भी तो सब कुछ सुन लिया था. अगर that's just kind of like an example for us. So you learn that language, right? You listen that language, you learn that language. But when you're learning in any other language as your second language, then you need to learn that language in every form. And that is in listening, reading, writing, interacting, So playing with the language, again, I will say, because please try to refrain from memorization. Memorization में कुछ चीजें you need it, but not everything in memorization. Try to understand and use it, that language, because whatever you read or talk, there is a purpose, right? Again, author writes something with a purpose. So think like that. Whatever you are reading, there is another person talking to you through reading or through listening or through talking in any form. So memorization वाला जो style है उसको कोशिश करो, don't use it, right? Okay, so let me close the session from hi Asad Zaman, and then I have Mazhar Mahmood, I have Shabana Khatun and Shaveta and many more. I see that there are some Sushil Yadav. Okay, so many students were texting me in the live chat, and my answer to you is, if you want to join this class, you all are welcome, but you have to text me, WhatsApp me, and I will send you the Zoom link for my next Saturday's class. Okay, so if you are here, if you have any question, I have like last 10 minutes to answer your question, but I will be ending the live stream. So I'm going to see if you are watching me right now. I'm going to see you next on Monday. Monday is my class, right? So this Monday I will be doing the live stream Indian Standard Time around 8 o'clock because I'm off on that day, so I'm not going to do 4 o'clock. So just for your information, if you watch live my class, then Monday will be slightly different time. Okay, so I'm going to leave from the live stream, but if you are still in my Zoom class, if you have any question, I'm here for next 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, everyone? Ma'am?